Hey guys, welcome back for another video. If this is your first time on my channel, consider subscribing. I post videos about health, benign fasciculation syndrome, my experience with it. Consider subscribing, and if this video helps you, I would appreciate a thumbs up on the video so it could reach other people and maybe help them as well. But I'm just going to give you another brief background of my benign fasciculation syndrome experience. About 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with BFS. It was a horrible time in my life. I was under extreme amounts of stress financially with work, physically in the gym. I was drinking tons of caffeine. I wasn't sleeping well. I was doing these crazy diets. And so, from all angles, my body was under extreme amounts of stress. And I think ultimately, this triggered benign fasciculation syndrome, predominantly in my calf muscles. My calves kind of do this, firing thing, mainly at all times. And when I'm really stressed, I'll get a twitching in my eye, sometimes my face, sometimes my ear, my thighs, my lower back. And it just seems for me personally that stress is the trigger. And I haven't really been able to find much to really calm it down. Some days there's no twitching in my calves anymore, and then other days there are, and it doesn't seem like my stress level is that much different. So I don't know if it's just something over time you continue to train your brain out of it, almost as your brain got trained into it. This is just all perspective. This is all my personal opinion. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of information out there, how to cure it and all these different things, because it's a disease that doesn't necessarily kill anybody physically. And I do believe mentally, it's very hard on people over time. It might lead to an early death because of that. But the healthcare system isn't focused on it because it's really not killing anybody physically right away. So it's up to us to kind of journal, take notes, find what are these different triggers. Food, stress, lifestyle, sleep, all these kind of things. So um, 6 years later, things are much better. I really don't even notice it anymore. I don't have any trouble sleeping. I remember when it first happened to me, I was sitting on a couch and I just noticed my calves just twitching. And honestly, it was the worst time of my life. It really made me take a step back and look at everything that I was doing. I completely changed the way that I work out now, how I eat, how I view stress. The last thing I want to really do is stress my body. I used to push myself in the gym 7 days a week, very high intensity workouts. I used to play baseball, college baseball, and even after I stopped playing, I kind of just continued that training in my life, and it just wasn't the time to do it. And so now, what I do is I focus on things like, low intensity training. I'll do dumbbells here and there, but I'm not going to the gym for an hour, hour and a half every single day, killing myself. I'll do yoga, I'll meditate, I'll take long walks with my dog. These are the things that I'm really focusing on. And actually, I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life, because being in shape, gaining muscle, losing fat, having six pack abs, all these things, it's not really how hard you work out. It's not about all the protein or all the carbs you're not eating. It's really about also your hormones. And so if you're in a very stressed state, you need to balance your hormones. For men, that's testosterone. And I think all this plays a role. I think hormones, I think stress, eating, diet, but you want your body to maintain a comfortable state. You don't want to be stressing your body out that much to a point where it kind of has to send you this alert signal of twitching and overactive nerves. That's kind of how I view it. But if you have any questions of my experience, or if you want to leave a comment of your experience, feel free to leave a comment below. Um, And I just wanted to make this video, the clevelandclinic.org, I'll leave a link to their site below, but just walking through what benign fasciculation syndrome is and ALS. So when I got diagnosed, when I was going to the neurologist, when I was looking up stuff on Google, you're seeing all these things of ALS, and it's one of the scariest things in the world. And again, I believe that BFS is triggered by stress. And then you're looking up things of ALS, and it's just this snowball effect. The twitching gets worse because you're worried about dying from ALS and all these things. But the best thing that you can do, go see your neurologist, and they'll run tests on you and check your nerves. And ALS is a very rare disease, and benign fasciculation syndrome is a very common disease. A lot of people have benign muscle twitching. And so please try. I know it's easier said than done. I've been there. Don't try to jump to conclusions on your diagnosis because I know waiting for that neurologist appointment is a very hard thing to do, but there's millions of us with BFS that have all these harmless muscle twitching that is very annoying. I agree, but it's not ALS, and you're not going to be paralyzed. And so just keep in mind that ALS is a pretty rare disease, and BFS is a very common disease. So have faith in that. If you've already seen a neurologist, have faith in these doctors. But just with my experience, I'll let you, like I said, I really stopped putting so much strain on my body. I started doing yoga and meditation to really calm my nervous system down. I focused on my diet, some minerals that I feel like I was lacking in, like magnesium is one of them. It's a mineral that 80% of the population, at least in the United States, is deficient in. So magnesium could be a mineral that could help you. If you look into magnesium, it's called the relaxation mineral. And so your nerves need it to actually relax. So none of these are a cure. You know, I've done a lot of things and eliminated a lot of things and manipulated a lot of things, and I still have twitching, and it's more of a mental thing to overcome. Realize that, you know, it's just something that you might have to live with. But when you've accepted the fact, I promise you, when you reach that point, you really don't notice it anymore. I don't sit down and think of my legs twitching. I don't go to bed and really feel them. It never kept me up at night anymore. So if you do suffer with it, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. But let's just walk through the clevelandclinic.org, what BFS is. So they also walk through what ALS is. So ALS is a degenerative neurological disease known as Lou Gehrig's disease, where it affects the motor neurons and the nerves that control your voluntary muscles. One common symptom of ALS is muscle twitching, and other symptoms include cramps, weakness, atrophy, and difficulty breathing, speaking, or swallowing. Now, the biggest difference between ALS and benign fasciculation syndrome is the muscle weakness and atrophy. So with ALS, your muscles will actually break down over time and become very weak. So say, you're walking and your leg muscles are very weak. Now that is a sign of ALS. I never experienced that. People with BFS don't experience that muscle weakness in that way. I've never had my calves have been twitching for the last 6 years, but I've never felt weakness walking, jumping, being at the gym, running, those kind of things. ALS symptoms get worse over time, and BFS kind of just stays the same. They might go away, they might come back, depending on, like I said, there might be some underlying trigger there. So benign fasciculation syndrome can affect anyone. And how common, so as I was saying before, how common BFS was. So they occur in about 70%. Sorry about that. 70% of the population at some point of their lives are affected with benign, meaning harmless, fasciculation, basically just meaning twitching syndrome. Now, some of the symptoms and causes. So let's see what they say here. The twitches can last for months or even years. They can occur anywhere in the body. So as you can see in this little picture, so in the calves, that seems to be a very common place for people. Now, part of my theory, the way that I think about it, is when your body is under stress, you're in a fight or flight response. If you've ever heard that terminology, it's your sympathetic nervous system. Fight or flight, your body is ready to either run or fight. And this part of our nervous system was meant for survival if we were in a battle, or if we were fighting a wild animal. These are all very primitive systems in our body, and it's tough to deal with in a modern society. The way that I look at it, the calves and the thighs, these are our leg muscles. These are the biggest muscles in our body. They're used for running and sprinting. So to me, it just makes sense that stress, your body is going into fight or flight, wanting to run away, jump, and all these things. It starts activating your leg muscles, your calf muscles. Think about how important your calf muscles are for sprinting. They act like springs at the bottom of your legs and your thighs. So that's kind of how I think about it. But some other common places is eyelids. I remember I had my right eyelid was twitching for, I think it was about 1 year. I had an eye twitch, and that was very, very annoying. Your nose can twitch, your arms can twitch, and your hands can twitch. What causes benign fasciculation syndrome, according to the Cleveland Clinic? So a fasciculation, muscle twitching, happens when a singular peripheral nerve that controls a muscle is overactive, resulting in an involuntary muscle movement. Researchers don't know the exact cause of benign fasciculation syndrome, but they know muscle twitches are associated with the following: stress, lack of sleep, which lack of sleep can actually then lead to over-consuming caffeine because you're tired. It can lead to stress because of anxiety. It can lead to viral infections because your immune system is weakened. And so I think one of the most important things that you can focus on, it's something that I had to really change in my life because I always viewed stress as a chore. Get good sleep. It's recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep, but don't just give your body 7 hours of sleep, because when you get into bed, it might take you 30 minutes to fall asleep. You might wake up in the middle of the night. You need to be giving your body 8 to 9 hours in bed so you can hit a solid 7 hours of sleep. So some other things that may cause muscle twitching: so consuming caffeine or alcohol, anxiety, depression, strenuous exercise, a recent viral infection, and hyperthyroidism. Now, some of the tests that you can do to be diagnosed with benign fasciculation syndrome: you can go for a neurological exam, or a electromyogram, which is just basically myo meaning muscle. It's a test on your muscle tissue. And then certain blood tests, so you like your thyroid, because hyperthyroidism can lead to muscle twitching, and a calcium test. Calcium is an important electrolyte that is used for contraction. I was talking about magnesium. Calcium and magnesium are basically opposites. Calcium will help a muscle contract, and magnesium will allow the muscle to relax. So a calcium test may indicate or may be beneficial to rule that out. And then they may do imaging tests of your brain and spinal cord, just to make sure if there was no traumatic injury that's causing any of the twitching and that kind of stuff. So how is benign fasciculation syndrome treated? Well, it looks like that they use B vitamin complex. So I guess you might want to get your B vitamins checked out. A lot of nutrient deficiencies can cause muscle twitches. So you might want to rule out all nutritional deficiencies. It wasn't the cause in my case, but you never know. This medication that relaxes blood vessels, and then calcium channel blockers. Prevention, they don't know why it develops, so they don't know how to prevent it. Living with it. Anytime you're having frequent muscle twitching, you want to talk to your healthcare provider just to rule out any other diseases, nutrient deficiencies, infections, that kind of stuff. But once you and your doctor is confident that it is benign fasciculation syndrome, then, you know, try to join support groups. There's support groups on Facebook. You can leave a comment below and, talk to other people on hair with experiences. But it's really, once you know for sure it's benign fasciculation syndrome, it's really about changing your whole perspective on it, so it's not controlling you. You need to wrap your head around it, remove the stress around it. Otherwise, it's just going to torment you in that way. But let's see. And so that's basically the end of the article. But I hope this video helped you. And if you have any questions or comments, or you want to chat, just leave a comment below. And if this video helped you, like I said, if you could leave a thumbs up, that'd be great. It'll help spread awareness for the video and the channel. And I plan on posting more about benign fasciculation syndrome as more research articles come out, and any treatments come out. I will definitely update you guys on that. So consider subscribing so you can get alerted for any new videos. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope this video helped.